Welcome to Scarecrow Miniature Paintings. I'm Steven, and we are going to continue work on our Dwarven Clerics. Um, so, a little update for those that missed the last video. I highly recommend you go and look at it. Um, we attempted the non-metal metallics. However, I still have a lot of practice to do on them, and it was evident in the actual work that we were doing. So, we're just going to use regular metallics. However, some of these we added a mixture to get a specific color. So, for instance, the greens you're going to see on the hammer. The other way. It's hard to see on there. I can faintly make them out. Um, but the greens you see on the hammer were one mixture. And then the blue on the belt. And we might go back and touch up the greens later on. We will have to wait and see. Um, and I'm debating on if I want to do object source lighting or not. I think we should, just because that's going to be a nice little effect. What I'm doing right now is I'm doing almost a dry brush of these little axes on the hilt. Just like with any other paint, we are going to do multiple coats. To make sure that our pigmentation stuck. And like I said in the prior video, we will be doing effects onto the stone to make it look chipped and worn. And we are going to do that right now with some matte black. So I'm just going to put a little bit of matte black right there. I'm going to take a little bit of that after I thin it. And I am going to place a chip right here, like so. I can also do it in this corner down here. Show that it's spread From there, I don't know if you'll see that. And then I will do this corner as well. So that's to make it look like a chip. We are going to add a little bit more of the green to the figure. But the fun part with this is that it's entering the chips, so we don't have to connect it all the way. Like so. Okay, now that's just how I do chips. Everyone does them differently. While I'm on it, and we have it out, I'm just going to put a very small dot of black on the tip. Now, let me get out my tan flesh real quick and we'll touch that up. Nope, that's fur brown. Going to need you later. There we are. I knew it was in there somewhere. So, setting a little dot in there, because we're not going to use a lot. But as you can see, the eyes kind of went a little crazy. So you want to thin that down. By touching up right at that cheekbone. Now, eyes, like everything else, takes practice. It is one of my, dare I say, least favorite parts to do. Yes. But once you get it down, it is rewarding. Because it eventually gets easier and easier as time goes on. That looks good. So now what I'm going to do with the eyes So I'm actually going to take a little bit of skeleton bone. Try getting some that's not a little bit watered down too much. And all is. Let's add a little bit more, or the mummy robes, not skeleton bone. Adding a little bit more of that to it. There we go. I'm going to see if I have a smaller detail brush in one of my other sets real quick. Because I want to get as close to that eye as humanly possible. So, we're going to use my Zero from Zooting Artist Brushing. Now, I'm just going to take a little bit of that white. So, I'm going to do a touch up. The cheek. And that's what we have. So, next we are going to move on to the rest of the gold on the figure. So I'm just going to take my regular 4-0 brush that we usually use. I'm going to cover the rest of that gold plating. I'm going to try my best to get the outline. Now, another reason why I chose gold for the base of him was regardless if we used green uh, or silver or gold, he has those accent colors on his beard. So he was going to clash a little bit anyway. And if we could have used blue. Now that I'm thinking about it, I can actually go back over that with blue and see how that looks. Because that would match the inside as well. So let's try that. See how that looks. Oh yeah, that looks great. I really enjoy how that looks. So I'm just gonna, since we've already colored those bits gold, what I'm doing is I'm trying to gently color over them. And we can go back over them again in the gold to make sure that they're all hit accordingly. And by the bits, I mean these little knob-like parts of the figure. And that one actually had a clump. So for some reason the front is clumping, so I'm just going to take my brush, or not my brush, my rag, I'm going to start knocking that down. Now we will leave the gold accents on the wrist. I like that. But I feel that that blue accent on the front just stands out a little bit better. And it doesn't clash with any of the other colors that we already have going on in the front, beyond maybe the pants, or not the pants, the guards that I showed, or that we painted blue earlier. Everything else is green. So there we have that. I guess we're going to go back and do some touch-ups with this. Make sure that all those blue nodes that we want gold are gold. We're going to do that now. So we do got a little bit over here that we can take this blue and just color it in. For some reason that became more of a wash right there, so let's move that up. And that's what we have. Now we're getting closer and closer to a final product with this figure. In the next video, we will be painting the belt and the nodes on the belt. What I'm doing real quick is I'm just doing a second run through of this gold on this arm. That was a little bit too thick, so just like before, gonna go through and just slightly touch it. And I think we're going to do the exact opposite there. I think we're going to do blue nodes on the wrists. And then we can do green on the ones on the belt. And with that, we are done with him for right now. Do not forget to like and subscribe to the video, and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, or Facebook, Twitch, or not Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest. All of our links are in our bio and our descriptions. And then we will move on to the next step of him, which is going to be that belt in the next episode, and we're going to do the green nodes around that belt, and then he will be done with the base coat, and then we can begin highlighting him. And then while he's drying the rest of the way, before we do the highlights, we will move on to this man. So, with that being said, thanks for watching. Have a great day.